Y'all already know what it is.
But it's still early.
No, it ain't.
Oh
yeah, they be trying to come in. Okay, yeah. Welcome. We are starting off, and we are into action. We are on page 86. To do a short recap for those of you that was not here last week, we went over the 10th step information. Okay, we talked about exactly what I need to be doing on a daily basis when I feel something, okay, when these feelings crop up. We also talked about how ridiculous it is to be asking people what step they on, and they like 10, 11, and 12, and they don't even know what the fuck they supposed to be looking for in step 10, let alone the 4 things they should be doing to combat those feelings. Okay, selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. And then it tells me to pray to God, share it at once, make amends if I've harmed somebody, and then turn my attention to help somebody else. If I'm running my thoughts and emotions through that process, it would be impossible for me to pick up anything. People, substances, like it would be impossible for me to be living foul if I'm running my thoughts and my ideas through that process. So we talked about that. Then we started getting into like, on page 86, it says when we retire at night. It tells me before I go to bed to make sure I did 10 properly. Okay, and so we talking about in step 11 now. In step 11 is not just prayer and meditation. Step 11 is making sure that I did 10 properly. It's asking me, was I resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Those are the 4 things they tell me to look for in 10. That's why I said 11 is not just about prayer and meditation. It is actually 10 is so important. 11, make sure I double back and make sure I did that shit properly. That's how important 10 is. And then it tells me on awakening to consider my plans for the day. We talked about that last week. An addict without a destination is headed for what, Yanni? Trouble. I need to have a destination. I don't need to be aimlessly wandering around the streets of Cleveland, Ohio, man. It is different out here, okay? We living in different times. We living in a different world altogether, man. It's not safe, okay? Especially for women. I talked about being at your destination by the time the sun go down. By the time I talked about our parents being on to something, like my mama and them was on to something, being on the porch before the street lights come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's amazing how in the lifestyle, I would walk up and down the street at 4, 5 in the morning, daring a motherfucker. I dare a motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now, girl, I don't even get gas at nighttime. I don't even get gas if the sun ain't out no more, you know. But anyways.
I got a question.
Yes.
So it just came to me too. So I mean, I already knew this. I know this though. But so this is just proof that you're supposed to do these steps every day. You don't just, it ain't just no, I get through my steps and I'm done. No, I do this shit every night. When I retire at night, every day, I run this shit through every day. That's just proof, yeah, you would say?
Yes, absolutely. And so 10, 11, and 12 is like 1 through 9 wrapped all up in, you know what I'm saying? Well, they said 10 was 1 through 9 wrapped all up in one step, because if I'm honestly doing 10, 11, and 12 on a daily basis, man, it's impossible for me to mess this up. You know, so yes, you're absolutely right. This is a daily, I got a daily reprieve depending upon the, you know, contingent upon my spiritual condition. So I need to be doing something every day to make sacrifices, and I need to be making sure I'm doing step 10 on a daily basis, not just at night, because that's a misconception that some people have, that 10 is supposed to be done at night. And I don't know if they get page 86 mixed up with that, but it says when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. That's in 11. That's telling me to make sure I did 10 properly in prayer and meditation, you know. So, yeah, don't believe the hype, man. The book is very clear on how they wanted us to do this shit. So I think I left off at the bottom of 86. It says, in thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be able to determine which course to take. Here, we ask God for inspiration, an intuitive thought, or a decision. We relax. We take it easy. We don't struggle. And what this means is when something happens throughout the day and I'm undecided, I need to I don't need to be making no irrational decisions. I teach the ladies that I'm assisting very early in recovery, like, if there's a decision to be made or something that needs to be done and you don't know what to do, the fucking answer is no. The answer is no. Don't do nothing, right? Until you can seek wise counsel. That will prevent you from getting yourself in a bunch of unnecessary predicaments and getting yourself in trouble, hurting yourself or hurting God's people. If I just don't do nothing, okay? I don't need to do nothing until I seek wise counsel, talk to somebody whose recovery I respect. It's telling me also to pray. Ask God for inspiration and intuitive thought and decision. We relax, we take it easy, we don't struggle. We are often surprised how the right answers will come after we have tried this for a while. When I get in the habit of working step 10 on a regular basis, on a daily basis, it becomes second nature, okay? Part of step 10 is praying to God first and then picking up that phone, calling somebody, sharing what I'm feeling and thinking. So when there's a situation that takes place and I don't know what to do, I'm undecided, I should be praying. Asking God, first of all, to remove this feeling. Lord, I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. Then I need to be on the phone. I need to be on the phone with my sponsor saying, hey, this is the situation. I don't know what to do. And so if I'm constantly following that order of direction, man, it'll be hard for me to fail.
Excuse me, are we still recapping?
No,
Oh,
we reading. What damn pages you on?
I'm just
if you don't even know where. Page 86, lady.
I know where we at, but I was making sure you was not still recapping.
Well, we on 87 now.
Yeah, we on
Okay,
87.
okay.
Now, I just read the rest of the paragraph. Are you zoned out? Shit, you stop it. Are we still recapping? Page
That was a
80.
joke.
Yeah, it says, what used to be a hunch or occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind. It means automatically, y'all. If I start practicing this shit, it will be automatic to me. When some shit jump off, to run it through that process, it'll be second nature. It says that being still inexperienced and having just made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. We may pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as some time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration, and we come to rely upon it. They telling me that every day ain't gonna be a good day, man. Every day I won't be inspired. Let me go help these people. Some days, I just may not be inspired, but it's telling me to still put one foot in front of the other, because if I'm not, and I don't do God's will, I'll pay for it. There'll be some consequences, is what they're saying. And we kind of talked about this last week when I think we talked about Sean having an opportunity to make the sacrifice and get a lady the money, and then he turned around and lost it because he didn't. It's kind of like that, but it's saying I need to continue to put one foot in front of the other.
That's the guy.
That's the
Even if I don't feel inspired, man. It says, we usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be, and that we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. And so I remember mentioning last week that they're not telling me how to pray exactly. Like, you get to talk to your creator however you choose to talk to your creator, it's a personal and intimate relationship, so nobody can tell you how to pray, right? But they're just making some valuable suggestions, okay? It says, we ask especially from freedom from self-will and are careful to make no requests for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others are to be helped. We are careful never to pray for our own selfish ends. Many of us have wasted a lot of time doing that, and it doesn't work. You can easily see why. And the reason why they say that is because this whole program is predicated around me not being selfish. It's predicated around me giving of myself. So they saying it's a waste of time to be praying for my own selfish needs. You know what I'm saying? First of all, God knows my heart. He knows exactly what I need. He knows exactly what my desires are. And as long as I stay close to him, he gonna provide for me. As long as I stay close to him and perform his work well, he's going to provide for me. He gonna make sure I got everything I need. I might not have everything that I want, but he gonna make sure all my needs are taken care of. I got a place to lay my head. I got food to eat. I got clothes to put on my back. Like, keeping up with the Joneses. Like, we not children no more, right? And we ain't living beyond our means either. So if I ain't got it, I ain't got it, and I need to be okay until I get it, right? I watch a lot of people doing that and people pleasing and trying to keep up with the Joneses, man, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's only insecure people live that way, making decisions based off of what other people would think. You know what I'm saying? Only insecure people do that. It says that, and I remember, I think we went over this last week. Yeah, we went over this last week.
That's why I thought you was recapping last.
You know what? She's so aggravated. You know what? Because I talked about the sacrifice of going to Cats and how I prayed for a car. Like, but I was praying for a car so that I could pick these women up. It ain't have much to do with me, you know. But it says, if circumstances warrant, we ask our wives or friends to join us in morning meditation. If we belong to a religious denomination, which requires a definite morning devotion, we attend to that also. That means that no matter what your religious teachings are or whatever religious habits that you have, this information won't interfere with that. You would just add this to it. It's basically what they're saying. If not members of a religious bodies, we sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. And they're talking about the 12 spiritual principles. Asking God to help me stay humble, asking him to remove me from, you know, chaotic situations and things like that. So you get to pray however you want to pray, long as, you know, it's along the lines of expressing the same ideas that they talking about. It says that there are many helpful books also. Suggestions about these may be obtained from one priest, minister, or rabbi. Be quick to see where religious people are right. Make use of what they have to offer. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful, and we ask for the right thought or action. They talking about asking God. They telling me again, when I get frustrated to pray, they just reiterating it because they just said it prior. You know what I'm saying? They telling me there's a reason why they keep driving this point home, because they know that agitation and being doubtful is some for sure feelings that's going to take place on a regular basis. And they telling me that I need to pray. I need to be running it through that 10-step process. There are two things that I have learned to do when I feel very uncomfortable, and I'm sure I've shared them with you all before, but I'm gonna share them again. The first thing I need to do is I need to be quiet, and the second thing I need to do is I need to be still. I don't need to do nothing, and I don't need to say nothing, because at the end of the day, the situation, my emotions are temporary. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm really upset and heated right now, I'm not going to feel that way 30 minutes from now, you know? So I don't want to make decisions based off of these temporary emotions, fuck around and make some decisions I can't come back from, you know? So it's best to just be still and be quiet, man, until the right answer comes to you rather than reacting. We constantly remind ourselves that we are no longer running the show. Humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, thy will be done. They saying throughout the day, I need to continue to be turning it over. Lord, all right, take this from me. I can't do this. Thy will be done, not mine. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. It says we become much more efficient. They saying with the way and the use of my energy, I become efficient. When I'm not trying to arrange everything and my hands ain't all in it. When I'm just allowing nature to take its course, I'm allowing God to work and do what he do and move me out of the way, then I'm not foolishly burning up energy as I did when I was trying to arrange life to suit up myself. And that's what it says. It says it works. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined. That's why early in recovery treatment is great for us, because we come into the program so undisciplined. I need some structure back into my life. Like, no more doing what I want to do. No more just ripping and running and just all over the place. Like, I need structure back into my life. And that's a main part of treatment, is to implement that structure back in. Getting up at a certain time, being at a certain place at a certain time. Like, these things are preparing me for the real world, because I'm going to have to get a job eventually. And I'm gonna have to be there at a certain time. Can't do what I want to do, So it says that we alcoholics are undisciplined, so we let God discipline us in the simple way we have just outlined. But this is not all. There is action and more action. It says faith without works is dead, and the next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. Faith without works is dead. That means I can pray all I want, but if I don't put no footsteps behind these prayers, man, nothing will change. I need to be willing to make some humanly possible sacrifices. God did the impossible by getting me off that shit. Right? And now I know that was him, because there were many days where I couldn't go 24 hours without using something. I would swear it off, throw shit in the garbage and all that. And soon as somebody knock at the door, I'll be digging in the garbage. I done forgot all about the resolution I just made. We about to get lit. So I know it was divine intervention to get me off of that shit, man. It wasn't me. That wasn't in my power to do, or I would have been done it, So praying ain't enough. Talking about God this and God that ain't enough. My behavior need to show, you know what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. I need to walk it like I talk it, because it's real easy to talk that shit, and then soon as opportunity is presented to you, you fail. You know what I'm saying? So this next chapter, working with others, we're gonna dive on in chapter 7, page 89. This chapter will let you know if you've been sponsored properly or if you're sponsoring other women properly. This chapter is going to tell us exactly what approach to take and how we should be positioning ourselves to help other people, right? Practical experience shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity, which means a defense or protection from drinking, as intensive work with other alcoholics. They just told me that nothing else will prevent me from getting high or drunk than working with somebody else, helping somebody else. It works when other activities fail. When other activities fail, the other activities they can be referring to church. I hear a lot of people coming back to the program saying, I did the church thing. Like, this should be coupled with church. Like, I ain't against church. I love going to church. It's like I be replenished, honey, for the week. Put my body armor back on for the week. That's how I feel. And then I go all throughout the week, and it seems like everywhere I go, the world be pulling pieces of me off. Pieces of my armor, if you know what I mean. And so by Sunday, when it's time for church again, it'd be like, let's go armor up again. You know what I'm saying? That's how I view church. Because this is not a religious program, this is a spiritual program. They're saying couple this with whatever you already doing far as religion go. This is our 12th step. Oh, that's what I was getting at. Doing one without the other don't work, y'all. Doing one without the other don't work. You cannot do the program and then not be focused on growing spiritually. And you can't be focused on church and not do the program. We need both. We gotta do both. I got good friends that have tried it. And thank God they didn't have to finalize a relapse to see that it wasn't enough. They were able to realize it. When she said when the bottom fell out, that shit, she knew she had to come back to the program. In my experience, from the experience of other people that I've seen, I believe that coupling this information with whatever religion you practice in is key, to do both. It says that it works when other activities fail. This is our 12th suggestion. Carry this message to other alcoholics. It says that you can help when no one else can. You can secure their confidence when others fail. And what they just told me and y'all is that we all are uniquely qualified to help somebody in some kind of way, just based off of our own personal experience and the shit that we done been through. The bullshit, the foul shit, the good shit, all of it is an experience that I can use to help somebody else. Yes.
Going back to what you just said about coupling religion with the program. Okay, you have the program. Of course, you have to have grow spiritually, but not practicing a specific religion, but you're growing spiritually as far as building your character and living right by just doing right, and of course having a higher power and so forth, is that still considered like growing spiritually? But you don't have a religion, right?
Yes, it is. And that's a great question because of the way that I phrased that. And I shouldn't have phrased that like that. I was referring to the people that are already kind of deep into religion, so that it's not a misunderstanding that I could come here and get a little information and just go back to religion. Like, I need to be doing both if that's what I'm into. But it is very well to have a relationship with God and not go to church. Like, you don't have to go to church every Sunday to have and to build a relationship with God. You get to worship your God however you see fit. Okay. Because like my fiance is a God-fearing man. He don't go to church. He he'll go with me, sometimes, but it's just not his thing, but he believe in God. He know God's word, like, you know what I'm saying? And so he has a personal, intimate relationship with God, and he's not ritualistically going somewhere every Sunday to worship this God that he served, So yes, you can have a relationship with God without going to church every Sunday. I think I feel uncomfortable saying that because I love church, so it makes me uncomfortable to say that because I never want to steer anybody away from worshiping in the house of the Lord. But like, you get to choose how you worship your God, you know what I'm saying? And whether that's in church or not, that's your prerogative. It doesn't make your relationship no less than mine, right? So it says, remember they are very ill. Now, I started highlighting in a different color every time this book in chapter 7 tells me to have low expectations on these people that I'm trying to help. And that's the first time it does it. Remember, they are very ill. They telling me this person that I'm working with, I don't need to have no expectations on her. I don't need to be treating her like she got good character and she's able to be honest and loyal. And I don't need to take that approach. I need to look at her exactly the way the book just told me to look at her, like she's a sick person. It says life will take on a new meaning. To watch people recover and to see them help others. To watch loneliness vanish. To see a fellowship grow up about you. And to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. What they talking about is what I'm able to see with my sponsorees. Like, I helped her I took her through the steps, got her to 10, 11, and 12, to watch her help Cody and take her through the steps and get her to 11 and 12. And soon we gonna watch Cody do it with somebody else. That's how you watch a fellowship grow up about you. And I've been blessed enough to have more than one person around me that's doing it. Ashley doing it, Renee doing it, so to watch these women, follow the direction and then do the same thing with other women is what they talking about. The loneliness vanished because it's impossible to feel lonely when your phone constantly ringing and people asking you for help. It is impossible. And it ain't even annoying to me. Like, I got people call me. I have my sponsorees calling me and everything. And it's never annoying. It's never a situation where I be like, well, I take that back. Let me take that back. Because sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I'll be like, fuck. Damn it. But I answer the phone still. You know what I'm saying? Really good at that. But it says that I was saying that to share that the loneliness and feeling like you don't know what your purpose is. Me feeling like I didn't know what my purpose was disappeared when I came here and started doing the work. I used to question, why he say me? Why he say me and Rochelle didn't make it? Why he say me? And because I got friends that didn't make it, and I used to think, why me? And I don't ask that question no more because I understand now. Because he knew what I would do with the gift. He knew that I would give it away. And I wouldn't selfishly just serve me. That I would serve him by helping other people every step of the way after that. So I know why he served me, why he saved me now, so that I can serve him. And I know exactly what my purpose in his life is now, as I used to question it. But it says, we know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. And I complain about going to the meeting sometimes, but when I get around y'all, like I be so happy once I get you know what I'm saying? It be a struggle sometimes to just the initial getting there. But once I get around my people, man, y'all my people, man. This is where else am I gonna be? You know what I'm saying? So frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives, because I know exactly what God will do for you if you follow the directions, because he did it for me. So I know it's possible for you. I be so excited when I get new women, like when I work with new women ask me to help them or whatever, man, I just be so excited. Just knowing how a person's life can transform from just being willing to follow the directions because of what happened to me, So it says that perhaps you are not acquainted with any drinkers who want to recover. You can easily find some by asking a few doctors, ministers, priests, or hospitals. They will be only too glad to assist you. Don't start out as an evangelist, meaning preaching or a reformer. Now, back in the day, we talking about back in the 1930s, alcoholics and people was not that easy to come across. Like they literally would have to go to the hospitals and ask the detox people, like, hey, you got some people want to stay sober in there? Like now, shit, we walking down the street drooling and all kind of shit at this point, so it ain't hard to find people of our kind at all, if you want to find somebody to help. But unfortunately, a lot of prejudice exists. They telling me not to start off preaching to them, especially the whole God thing, because first of all, we don't know where everybody is with God, and you don't want to prejudice nobody away from this information, because every time you open your mouth, God this, God that, God this, God that. Now, it's not telling you to deny your creator or deny who you believe in, but it's definitely telling me that when I approach a new person, I need to keep it cordial, man. I need to keep it casual, okay? If they mention that they believe in a higher power already or something like that, then that's cool. But I don't need to be saying anything that could prejudice them away from this information, right? So it says you will be handicapped if you arouse it. Because if you do that with a person that has a problem in the God area, their mind will close. It'll be hard for you to reach them. Ministers and doctors are competent, and you can learn much from them if you wish. But it happens that because of your own drinking experience, you can be uniquely useful to other alcoholics. Here we go again. I got it highlighted in orange. So cooperate, never criticize. So they just told me, because of my own experience, which I shared a little while ago, because of the things that you all have been through in life, you are uniquely qualified to help somebody that I wouldn't probably be able to help. Like Miko can help a young lady that I probably wouldn't be able to reach, and vice versa. Because of our own unique experiences, we got unique qualities of helping, right? So cooperate, never criticize. This means that when my sponsoree called me and tell me that she just did some shit, all I should be saying is, okay. I don't need to be saying, why would you do that? Why you ain't share it with me? How come you ain't want no input before making that decision? I don't need to do none of that shit. She a grown ass woman, and she clearly didn't want my assistance. That's why she called me and told me what she was doing or what she done already did. The person that want assistance, a person that truly believes that they're powerless, will be calling me before they make the decision, not after. They will be calling me saying, hey, Miko, I was thinking about doing this. What do you think? I was thinking about moving out of the sober house. What do you think? I was thinking about moving out of town. What do you think about that? Like, because my sponsor just told me that somebody did that to her, called her and was like, I'm moving out of town. It's like, okay. And ain't nothing else I got to say to that. First of all, I'm not finna try to talk a grown-ass woman out of the decision that she just made. Like, that is a waste of time. Okay, I need to be spending my time trying to help somebody that want the help rather than trying to convince them. So when they say cooperate, never criticize, they saying go with the flow. If she ain't on it, if she ain't interested in doing the step, okay. Now, what I do get to do is I do get to pull out. When you start showing me that you're not serious like you told me in the beginning, and you said you was willing to do anything until it was time to do some shit. You said you was willing to do anything until it was actually time to really do some shit. Then it was like, oh, wait a minute. Well, I do get to gracefully bow out. I get to say, hey, I think I've taken you as far as I've taken you. You know, maybe you need to find somebody else whose recovery you respect. And that way, you know, but it doesn't mean we enemies. We not departing as enemies. Like, let's normalize this in the program. I hate that we are a part of this big ass program and people are getting mad at people because they found another sponsor or they found somebody they felt like can help them a little bit better. Like, why is that a reason for me to be upset at this young lady? Isn't it? Don't I think it was hard enough for her to come to me and tell me she found somebody? You know how much courage that take and how much anxiety goes into going to your sponsor saying, hey, I found somebody else to help. That it's a nervous situation. So why won't I just free her up and be like, listen, man, that's cool. Keep me as part of your support group. You know, use me if you need to. I'm glad you found somebody you think can benefit you. But I'm still here for you if you ever need me. Like, rather than ostracizing these women away from the support group and, you know, like that's not proper. And chapter 7 doesn't support that information, right? Simply because I got to remember I'm dealing with a sick person. So no matter what their behavior is, whether they lying, being deceitful, not following the directions, man, I need to continue to show love, patience, and tolerance. Somebody did it for me. You know, when I came here, I didn't know shit and didn't know how this shit went. You know, so when they saying cooperate, never criticize, I do not need to be talking down to these people. They had this approach back in the day. They used to take your ass gonna be drunk and you gonna like, we don't do that no more. I never did that. So I don't know why I said we, but I never took that approach because taking that forceful approach is not effective. And the book tells me it's not effective. These are grown ass women. These are not my kids, right? I don't get to treat them like they're my children either. Like they're adults. And so even if they making decisions that's going against what I would suggest, I do not need to be getting upset at them at all for no reason. I need to cooperate with them. Do not criticize. It says to be helpful is our only aim. And if to be helpful is our only aim, then why am I getting mad at her because she told me she found somebody else that can help her? If I truly care about this girl, I shouldn't give a fuck where she get the help from as long as she getting it, right? Like, who the fuck am I ain't nobody. Recovery don't begin and end with me. You know what I'm saying? So the moment somebody come to you talking about they found another, you need to free them up, you know, and don't make them feel uncomfortable about that. This is their journey, you know. I know I just kind of went on a tangent. When you discover a prospect for Alcoholics Anonymous, find out all you can about him. If he does not want to stop drinking, don't waste time trying to persuade him. They saying when a young lady comes up to you and say, can you be my sponsor? You do not say yes. You give them your phone number and you tell this young lady to call you and we can talk about it. Because people will hear you comment or hear you give a good lead and get excited and be like, can you be my sponsor? And they ain't serious at all. And so you need to give them your phone number, tell them to call you, and then kind of get to know this person a little bit. I need to figure out what her situation is a little bit, you know, and if she's even ready to commit to this relationship as a sponsor and sponsoree. And what I mean by that is, in order for me to sponsor this young lady, I got to be able to meet with her at least twice a week. I need to see if that's even possible. She could be in a fucking 90-day treatment program where she can't move or go nowhere for the first 30, 60 days or something like that. I need to figure out where she lives. Do you got kids? Are you in treatment? Are you in sober living? Are you on the bus? Do you drive? And so when I talk to a young lady for the first time, I just let her talk. I'll ask some questions and she'll tell me. You know, she just started talking. First thing I ask her, where you live at? Are you in sober living? Are you in treatment? Oh no, and then she'll start explaining to me what her living situation is. Do you drive or are you on a bus? She'll explain to me. Like, I need to get to know this young lady a little bit. And it says that if this young lady is saying that she stopped doing certain things and still gonna do THC, I don't think I could say that. I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without saying it. If she's saying she stopped doing certain things, say for instance, because I've had some people do this. I ain't doing this, this, and this, but I'm going to still drink. I need to just be saying, okay. I don't need to be trying to persuade her that you need to be in this program. You need to be working this step. None of that. We do not do that. That's why it says if he does not want to stop drinking, do not waste time trying to persuade him. Questions. I seen keep your hand first.
That's supposed to be highlighted too, right?
Yes, I got that highlighted. Yes.
Okay, so do you continue to help them?
Yeah, what you supposed to do? That was my question too.
Well, in a certain way, I continue to help them, but being like agreeing to be their sponsor and starting them on the steps, no, because this person has to at least be committed to not using. Like we practice total abstinence. So they gotta at least be willing to put that shit down first. You know what I'm saying? And far as help, maybe I can like ask her, are you ready to completely stop? Do you want me to give you the number to detox? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe she need to go into detox. Maybe she don't, but they need to be willing to at least commit to being abstinent, you know? And if they not, then I can still help them. I can just show them where the meeting's at. Here's all women meetings that I do. How about you come hang out with us at the meeting? Because whether they still drinking or not, they still welcome at the meeting, right? So I need to help them in a different way. It says that you may spoil a later opportunity. This advice is also given for his family as well. They should be patient, realizing that they are dealing with a sick person. I got that highlighted in orange because they telling me again, my expectations need to be very low of this person. I don't need to be expecting for her to do nothing but get drunk. Okay? It says, if there is any indication that he wants to stop, have a good talk with the person most interested in him, usually his wife. Now, back then, that's the avenue that they took because the program hadn't evolved as much now. Now I can talk to the person and get the information I need. Okay? It says, get an idea of his behavior, his problems, his background, the seriousness of his condition, and his religious leanings. They telling me to get to know, ask this person a few questions and get to know them a little bit. Do you believe in a higher power? Have you got legal issues? You on probation? Just kind of get to know a little bit about her. You need this information to put yourself in his place to see how you would like him to approach you if the tables were turned. They are telling me to treat these people how I would want to be treated if I was new and didn't know nothing about this program. How I would want somebody to approach me is how I should be approaching this young lady, not in a forceful way. Here it is. I got this highlighted. Sometimes it is wise to wait till he goes on the bench. I got it highlighted in orange. They telling me I might need to wait for her to go through some more pain. All right. She may not be ready. It says the family may object to this, but unless he is in a dangerous physical condition, it is better to risk it. Do not deal with him when he is very drunk unless he is ugly and the family needs your help. They saying like if they parents call you and be like, Tanya over here breaking my windows, or what, like tell Girlie to call the police. Okay. Tell her to call 922. Okay. That's the mental health line. That's the because 911, you know what I'm saying, can turn ugly. Yeah, the police don't know how to handle us mental health people. So maybe we need to call the 922 number. You know what I'm saying? But 988. Is that what it is?
That's why I say, why do you keep saying that?
988. Because we used to joke around and say that, and they really made a fucking number for it. You know what I'm saying? My mother used to say that, call 922. But yeah, it's 988 for the viewers on here. 988 for mental health. Okay. They have trained mental health specialists that'll come out now and respond. to an event rather than the police. Okay, welcome. So it says, shit on. I got that highlighted. Wait for the end of a spree or at least a lucid interval. That's a short period of time when they sober. That's what lucid interval means, right? So I got that highlighted again because they telling me again, this person might have to go through a little bit more pain. You know, they might not be ready. They might even start off and seem like they ready, and then you realize that they not committed. It's like, okay, we need to back up. We need to hold off. We don't need to be starting nobody on the steps that's not committed. Like, it takes some commitment and dedication to, like, it's not just about being able to meet with somebody twice a week, man. It really takes some dedication to get started on these steps and endeavor on into this spiritual journey, you know. So it says, then let his family or friend ask him if he wants to quit for good or if he will go to any extreme to do so. That's why we ask people that ask us to help them, what are you willing to do to stay sober? Because we need to hear you say it out of your mouth, I'm willing to do anything. Because when you get to step 9, there is a part in step 9 for when people get to step 9 and start procrastinating, that we get to say, hey, remember you said you was willing to go to any length. But it says, if he says yes, then his attention should be drawn to you as a person who has recovered. You should be described to him as one of the fellowship who, as a part of their own recovery, try to help others, and who will be glad to talk to him if he cares to see you. That's important. I see a lot of sponsors that got away from this a little bit. And basically, I should be explaining to this young lady that doing this work helps me stay sober, rather than taking the approach, you should be glad I'm doing this for you. Like, that is not the proper approach I see some people taking. She should be grateful I'm going out of my way to help her. No, that's not a real thing. I need the practice and I need the sacrifice in order for me to stay sober. So a lot of times your sponsoree will think that you're helping her, but she's helping you way more than you can be helping her by giving you that work to do, you know. It says, if he does not want to see you, never force yourself upon him. I got that highlighted in orange. They telling me not to be forceful, okay? If we had an agreement that she would be at these 2 meetings, meet me at these 2 meetings a week, and she don't, and she missed one, I don't need to be chastising her like, what was you at yesterday? If she wanted to be at the meeting, she would have been there. Like, this is a grown ass. I need to keep reminding myself this is a grown ass woman. I don't need to be chastising her about nothing. I lay down the spiritual kid at her feet, and either she willing to pick it up and use it or she's not. Okay, I don't have to. I should not be trying to reinforce anything to this young lady. Neither should the family hysterically plead with him to do anything, nor should they tell him much about you. They should wait for the end of his next drinking bout. Got that highlighted again. They telling me that not only should I not be forceful, but the family need to not be forceful as well. That shit don't work anyway. I remember, think about when your family was all on your back and you was and you was still getting high. It would be like, listen, all these lectures and shit, I just need a hit for real after this shit. After that, I need a hit for real after this emotional bullshit you just tried to take me through. Is this shit gonna end with you giving me $20? That's all I be thinking. Is this shit finna end with a $20 bill? Cause I stand here and listen to you. Other than that, nigga, I need to get to it, okay? You might place this book. Now, this is something that we don't do no more. It says you might place this book where he can see it in the interval. They talking about in the period between him being sober or dry. They saying throw a big book in his room and shit like that. We don't do that shit no more either. Okay. First of all, some people can't even read that good. I need to find this out about this young lady when I first meet her. Can you read? Can you write? Because you would be surprised how many adults you run across that cannot read or have a problem or didn't dropped out in the girl said she dropped out in the 7th grade. She had a 7th grade education. And so that's why it's important for us to sit across from this young lady and break this information down to her, you know. But to give her this book, like, first of all, it ain't an easy read. It's not a book to be read, it's a book to be studied. And so to give this book to a new person and be like, your brain broke, it doesn't function like normal people brains, but here, dissect this information with it, with your broke brain, and call me when you finish. Like, that's stupid. Like, so I don't understand, and I never have understood why people tell people stupid shit like read the first 164 pages and call me. It's a spin tactic. Me and Sean believe the same way. Sean believe that way too. We believe that it's a spin move. It's for people who really ain't got time and really don't have the time to walk you through this process. Read the first 164 pages. They know you ain't finna do that shit, you know. But we don't do that. We don't ever suggest that a new person read this information by themselves. If anything, we suggest that they go to some big book studies like this one, where somebody is breaking down the information and you can ask questions, right? But telling a person with a broke brain to dissect this information and figure it out is ridiculous. Yes.
So you saying my sponsor?
Oh shit! I should have known at least one person in here was gonna listen.
She gonna tell me to read the first 300 and so pages.
300.
She said by tomorrow.
What?
She told me this last week, but I thought she was trying to be funny though, cause she knew how to read the book by 100 times. So I'm like, what are you trying to like? She was like, she hung up, like she was serious, like she was for real.
Damn.
Like, she said 360. She said the number wrong. She said 364. I said, you mean 368. So she like, what you mean 368? I said 364 at the end of that chapter. So she like, oh, okay, but then read 368. So I'm like, all right.
That's more
Yeah,
than
that's
half
half
the
of the
book.
book.
More than half of the book. You don't need
But like
it.
you said, you do, like y'all know that she know I ain't about to read all that, and she know I'm doing aftercare and you know trying to go to meetings. I think she really was trying to be funny.
Sometimes people,
For
no,
real?
no.
There's a young lady who had a sponsor. She said, "Read the book, not 165 pages. Read the book, then call."
God,
Damn.
And she will call her every day, and she said, "Did you read? Are you still reading? Are you finished yet? Are you still read the book? Read the goddamn book." I'm like, okay, you'll never be mine.
yeah, it's kind of cruel. Like, think of
No, cause look, it's three. She said read 365. 365. It's 368.
in the middle of a check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
That's where it stopped.
right there. And I was like, you mean 68? And she was like, yeah, you know what I mean. Just read it and let me know how that apply to your life and have it Wednesday. So I want to have how 368 pages apply to my life.
Okay. I would just follow the directions because here's the thing. Some sponsors will tell you to do some things just to see where your willingness level is, you know. But here's my thing with that. And you all can use whatever approach you see fit when you start sponsoring other women. But my thing is when a person comes to me and asks me to be their sponsor, they showing the willingness that they want the help right then and there. That is enough. Okay? That should be enough. I shouldn't have to do a bunch of shit to prove to you that I'm serious about being sober, because you can't measure desire. It says the only requirement is a desire to stop drinking, right? But who the fuck, we can't measure each other's desire. Yanni ain't walking here and I'm like, Yanni, your desire on a 0 today. Well, your desire level, your shit down here, Yanni. It should be like, we can't measure each other's desire. So, and it be the people that you think ain't serious, be the motherfuckers that end up staying sober. Okay, how many times have I said certain people, she gonna be drunk, her ass still sober?
Mm-hmm.
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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I said it about quite a few people that's still sober. Goes to show you I ain't nobody. God is, okay? God is. God said it is and it is, yes.
Okay, I got a question on, it's not stupid, but I never asked you, so I'm asking both of y'all.
No such thing as a stupid question.
Like back at the convent, on certain days we had to do book work, like read the book. So now since I'm moving along, I was just thinking the other day, like I can sit down and just read my book and stuff like that, but and then write down questions and stuff like that. But one sponsor that I did have, she was just telling me read kind of like until you get tired and tell me what you think about it before you. And I was like, it was uncomfortable because I had a question about that word, this right here, and what she meant, you know, and it was uncomfortable because I'd rather do book work with you.
Yep.
Like we did it from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning she took me through 1 through 7 in a sitting, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So I don't read ahead unless you tell me so.
That's good. That's
So,
good. And I would
get to asking questions and I'm like, forget it, never mind, that was too much.
absolutely. And when you start sponsoring other women, you should suggest the same thing to them. Don't read that book by yourself, man. Go to some big book studies, man. It's not an easy read, and you can misinterpret one damn sentence and fuck the whole page up. You know what I'm saying? That's why your life so important that it should be read to you. It should be broken down to you so that anytime you got a question, I'm right here to answer it for you. You know, so it says here, you might want to place his book where he can see it in the interval. Here, no specific rule can be given. It says the family must decide these things, but urge them not to be over anxious, for that might spoil matters. And they talking about the family trying to pressure a person. Sometimes the family want me to get sober more than I want to get sober, okay? And it's real easy to get draped off into that shit too. You know, I had a young lady, her mama, like we kind of fell out because her mother was calling me. Excuse me. And I wasn't, like it says in here that, you know, don't be mean to the family. But, you know, I just started, it kind of like it's almost like I became a counselor for her mom. You know what I'm saying? She would feel so much better after talking to me. She just kept calling me, you know what I'm saying? And then her daughter felt like she couldn't trust me. Like, well, you be talking to my mama a lot. Like, the fuck? Like, I don't want her to know certain shit, you know? And it crossed the line, and I learned a lesson from that situation. Because my loyalty was to her daughter, man, not to her, you know? And so it ruined a relationship for me, you know, just trying to be helpful. But when you got family members calling you and they want their people to be sober more than they people want to be sober, you direct their ass to Al-Anon. Tell them, go call central office. I got central office number in my phone now for that shit. Here go the number to central office. Call them. Ask them for some Al-Anon meetings. You got to get some help, lady. You know what I'm saying? Because she done fucked you up. Your daughter done fucked you up. Just like I fucked my mama up, you know. It is not your fault. The shit is not your fault, ma'am. Yeah, the lady like, I raised her right, and I did. Yes, you did, ma'am. And she chose the crack. You know, you did everything you was supposed to do. This shit ain't got nothing to do with you, ma'am. You know, but trying to help these people understand how helpful Al-Anon is important, because Al-Anon will help them see that your ass is just as sick as your daughter. Okay, she coming over there. You get talking about I gave her $50 for some gas. You know damn well she ain't got no car. You know, these people are enabling the fuck out of us and shit. Like, just because they love us and care about us, you know what I'm saying? People are falling out with their husbands and shit, you know? Damn people, we done fucked our families up. You know what I'm saying? My mama still is talking shit like, she's still saying shit like, I shouldn't have put that much responsibility on you. And I'm like, Mama, I chose the crack, honey. It ain't got nothing to do with that shit. I just wanted to choose to crack, man. You ain't put too much response. My mother still saying that shit, man. And I celebrated today is my 11th sober anniversary. Yeah. I wasn't even gonna say nothing. Yeah, I wasn't even 11-11. 11-11. 11-11. My mama still 11 years later saying, I should have hugged you a little bit. Like, nigga, this shit ain't got nothing to do with no hugs, but we go stop right there.